Overview of virus. Computer viruses are a major nuisance and cause huge amounts of damage. They delete files from users' computers or email confidential data to the world at large, and they install programs which allow hackers, spammers, and perpetrators of distributed denial of service attacks to enter the machine and make damage done. The virus then attempts to copy itself to other computers via email or via the victim's own network. It is this copying or cloning which defines the program as a true virus. A program which merely deletes files or installs a backdoor but which doesn't subsequently try to copy itself to other computers is known as a Trojan horse. A virus is a program that reproduces its own code by attaching itself to other executable files in such a way that the virus code is executed when the infected executable file is executed. While the vast majority of viruses affect only Windows PCs, users of other hardware and software platforms such as Linux, Macintosh, PDAs, and even mobile phones are not immune. There are real viruses in circulation that affect each of these platforms, and the risk to Linux and Mac machines increases greatly if you run a Windows emulator such as Wine. As a general rule, all computers should be running antivirus software. Most viruses do their job by placing self-replicating code in other programs, so that when those other programs are executed, even more programs are infected with the self-replicating code. The self-replicating code, when triggered by some event, may do a potentially harmful act to your computer. Another way of looking at viruses is to consider them to be programs written to create copies of themselves. These programs attach these copies onto host program. When one of these hosts is executed, the virus code executes and links copy of itself to even more hosts. Similar to viruses, you can also find malicious code in Trojan horse, worms, and logic bombs. Often the characteristics of both virus and worm can be found in same based confusing the issue even further. Viruses come in many types, written using many different infection strategies. Breaking them into categories is not easy as many viruses have multiple characteristics and so would fall into multiple categories. We are going to describe two different types of category system, what they infect and how they infect. Because they are so common, we are also going to include a category specific to worms. There are a lot of category of viruses and every virus is there with a different characteristics. There are system sector viruses which uses to infect control information on the disk itself. File viruses are also there to infect program like .com and .exe files. Macroviruses uses to infect files you might think of as a data files, but because they contain macro programs, they can be infected. Companion viruses are a special type that adds files that run first to your disk. Cluster viruses infect via the disk directory. Batch file viruses use text batch file to infect. Source code viruses are there which add code to actual program source code. Visual Basic worms use the Visual Basic language to control the computer and perform tasks. So hope you understand how viruses work and what is viruses, what is Trojan horse and what is worm. So thank you for watching this video.